it to me literally. Don't give me an explanation. It comes up scientifically accurate. I still claim that if I find a scientific contradiction, a contradiction which contradicts the known scientific fact in Quran, I'm not talking of ascientific things like which are basically not related to physical world. Anything, a truth statement about physical world in Quran which it contradicts the known scientific fact, I will leave Quran and Islam that very moment, because I don't want to follow something which is false. I mean, it doesn't make sense that why should I follow something which is false. Okay, now I will be coming to the basic thing. What are the scientific phenomena in Quran? Okay. Yeah. Okay, take the shape of the earth. What does earth look like? It looks approximately like a sphere, but it's a spheroid. It's an ellipse rotated around one of its axes. Okay. And the closest object, there might be other objects, I don't know, but one of the closest objects which mathematically can be called a spheroid is an egg. Because you see, the earth is not perfectly a sphere. It's bulged at the equator. Because of its rotation, it causes a centrifugal force which bulges it out, and therefore the equatorial diameter of earth is more than the polar diameter and kind of bulged in one way. It's somehow, so mathematically or topologically, not topologically, but yeah, analytically it resembles an egg the most. Because it's a spheroid. Okay. Now what does Quran say about the shape of the earth? And the earth moresoever he, that means God, has shaped like an egg. Okay. Now could Muhammad have known it? Yes, he could have known it. How? Egg could have been a guess, but the fact that earth was spherical, it wasn't a common belief. It wasn't known in the times of Arabia. There were some Greek philosophers and some people in India who probably thought, at least I know of one person in India who thought earth was an egg. Now, his works weren't translated in Arabic. The work couldn't have leaked out, because in India the belief was that you don't travel outside India at that time. Okay. So, very difficult, but is it, let's compare now. A work like earth shaped like an egg. It was probably very few people in the world actually thought that earth was a sphere at that time. Nobody thought it's like an egg. So maximum they could come to is that earth is a sphere, but egg resembles a sphere, so maybe this was a coincidence, a likely coincidence, okay, a very unlikely, but still possible. Compare this to the fact that this is a revelation from God. I think let's go with the fact that the knowledge somehow leaked and the egg part of spheroid thing was a guess, because revelation from God is a very big claim to be established just by this statement. Let's come to something else. Okay, sun, moon. Now we know moon travels in the orbit around earth in 27.3 days. Sun also travels in an orbit, and moon speed by the way is 1 kilometer per hour. Sun also travels around the center of the Milky Way with a speed of 207.2 kilometers per second. It takes 226 million years to complete an orbit, unlike moon's speed of 1 second and 27 days. Interestingly, moon has occurred 27 times in Quran. Days 365 Mount 12. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's just an interesting fact. Okay, this doesn't prove that Quran is divine. Anybody can put these numbers easily in a book. Okay, these things. So moon circulates around earth, common knowledge. Sun circulates around the center of Milky Way galaxy, known very lately to modern scientists. What does Quran say about it? It is God who created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon, and all the celestial bodies orbiting each in their rounded orbits. Further, the sun and the moon follow courses exactly computed. Okay, it's nice that we know Newton's law and probably general theory of relativity, which interestingly I work on. It's to quantize it somehow, of course. But yeah, the thing is that these moon and sun, their orbits can be exactly calculated with general theory of relativity. Now, could Muhammad know about it? Okay, moon he could easily know. What about sun? If you think about it in one way, as I initially thought, oh my God, no way, he couldn't know about it, because only we knew that the fact that sun rotates around Milky Way, only we knew a couple of years ago, maybe not couple, maybe 50, 100 years ago, but no way a person in Arabian desert could have known it. But then I thought again, let's try to find a human explanation to this. There can be a human explanation. You see sun apparently If you look at it, it sets and it rises, so it apparently looks like it's rotating around Earth. Now nowhere in Quran is it said that sun is rotating around Earth. But a human explanation could be maybe he forgot to write Earth, or he just deleted it conveniently to make it look scientific, and somehow coincidentally that became even the scientific accurate thing in 21st century. The Earth wasn't there, it was just that sun rotates in an orbit. But again, I can find a human explanation to it. So I will not accept these statements also to classify Quran as a divine text, because I can still, even though this becomes really vague, why didn't he write the Earth as anyone would have written? Sun rotates around Earth. It just says sun is rotating in its spherical, in its rounded orbit. But probably there can be a human explanation, at least more, and exactly compute it. Okay, he could have guessed maybe we could one day compute it, or maybe this was again another coincidence. Still a human possibility remains there. Not too strong to prove the very strong statement that this is a divine revelation. Let's come to something else. Now this is a problem. This is where I got into trouble. The problem was the universe is expanding. Okay? And general relativity was discovered in 1915. It predicted that the universe should be either expanding or contracting. It should be dynamic. Einstein corrected his equations. He said, nah, that's not possible. Universe has to be static. It can't expand. So he modified his theory. He added up a cosmological constant. He changed his theory just for the universe to be static. Expansion of universe was proved in 1929, and Einstein thought it's the greatest blunder of his life. Now, how does universe expand? Let me try to explain it to you and then show you how inexplainable it is if you do not know Riemannian geometry. The thing is that imagine a balloon. If you have dots on it and I blow air in it, the balloon will expand. Now each dot will see every other dot moving away from itself. And when we look out, that's what exactly we are seeing. We are seeing all the galaxies are moving away from us. So are we very special that everyone is moving away from us? No, we are just a small planet in Milky Way rotating around the center of Milky Way. So what's happening? Everything is going away from everything. Like for example, in this balloon, if this distance is 1 centimeter, this distance is 22 centimeter, I expand it, it becomes 4. All the distances are increasing. The further a galaxy is away, the further it's speeding up. Very correct, because as the distance increases, its speed will also increase, because the amount of distance, if you multiply the amount of distance times the rate, you can easily get it. But now this is a two-dimensional thing. The surface of a sphere is two-dimensional. Our universe is four-dimensional, but in terms of its spatial content, which is expanding, you can take it as three-dimensional, a spatial cross-section of the universe. Now what does a two-dimensional sphere mean? You walk anywhere on the sphere. Okay, like if I start walking like this in the globe, I will end up from here, and if I walk like this, I will end up from here. But if I walk like this, I won't end up anywhere, I will just go up, because our globe is a sphere. If I walk for billions and millions of years with the speed of light, probably much faster, because the universe's apparent velocity increases that, which I cannot do physically, it's just a toy model I am talking about. If I walk like this, I will end up from here, after millions of years in a universe. If I walk like this, I will end up from here, and if I walk like this, I will end up from here. So it's spherical, but three-dimensional sphere. Now even most of the people who are not technical, I've tried to explain it to them, they don't understand it. And sometimes people even question me like, it doesn't make sense. Of course, read Riemannian geometry, it will make sense. But the question is, if Einstein in between 1915 and 1929 could not anticipate, or most of the scientific community could not anticipate universe expanding, and the geometry and the data required for it was far too complex even for people who are not technical scientists, who work in some other field, to comprehend it. It's very, very difficult to imagine it. Could it be comprehended in the time of Prophet Muhammad? No way. I can't accept this. I have tried to find a human explanation. I can't find any human explanation for this. And this is exactly what the Quran says. And with power and skill did I, that God create the universe, and it is I who is expanding. Okay, now interestingly, with power and skill did I create the universes, and it is I, God, who is expanding them. Okay, now Quran talks of many universes. I'll come to that a little later. What is the status of multi-universe in a modern scientific theory, or in the modern scientific community? What is the status of multi-universes?